Good evening. Welcome back again. Now we're talking about the role of the media in building bridges and not walls. Are you satisfied yourself that the men and women in the media are playing the kind of role that you would wish them to play? Or you are like me, concerned that we don't see active players in the media who live up to the kind of promise that we want to see? And what kind of promise is that you and I would like to see? If you have an idea of the media and an ideal of what you would want to see, does the reality of the outcomes and outputs from the media personalities live up to the kind of promise that you think is possible, is desirable, and attainable in a democratic society? How do we provoke, ignite, inspire the best in the craft so that the questions of the day are properly packaged in a manner that allows us to be able to understand the day? I have Mr. Rutsito from Zimbabwe, the editor of the Tech magazine. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Mawere. How are you?
How are you? How are you? Yeah, we are talking
right.
about the... Okay.
So I'm catching you while I'm actually driving, and I think let me just remove my mask. I'm catching you while I'm driving, so sincere apologies.
No problem, as long as you're alive. There are many people who are driving, but they are not. So at least you are alive to tell the story. So thank you. Maybe you can introduce the head you wear in the media space. You are an active player in an association of online content producers. Is that correct?
You're almost there. Well done.
Okay.
I'm the president of Zimbabwe Online Content Creators. So we call it ZOC. ZOCC, Zimbabwe Online Content Creators. That's the association that I represent, and that's the association that I come from.
Okay, we also are
I'm also the editor for Technomec and TechMec TV. Those are our two major broadcasting and news dissemination platforms that we have.
Okay, we are also joined by Mr. Foster Dongozi. Good afternoon, sir.
Right.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Good afternoon. Hello? Yeah, I'm talking to you now. Yeah, so good afternoon. Maybe you can introduce your Zimbabwe Union of Journalists connection. What is your relationship with ZUJ?
Thank you very much. My name is Foster Dongozi. I am the Secretary General of the Zimbabwe Union of Journalists, ZUJ. ZUJ is a professional organization that seeks to improve the working conditions and professionalism of journalists in Zimbabwe.
Okay. In any society, we talk of journalists, and we talk of the idea of human beings given the title journalist, sometimes without thinking about it. And when we say, what is a journalist? That conversation must begin today. Is a journalist a human being? Or is a journalist first and a human being second?
Thank you very much. A journalist is a human being first. This is why for most of their early life, they pursue other things that may not have anything to do with journalism. But after some time, they choose a path to follow in life. And therefore, I will clarify that a journalist is a human being who is also supposed to benefit from other human rights that anybody else is entitled to. But however, upon journalists resides or rests responsibility, which is that of informing communities or societies, giving the right, verified, correct information, which is not tainted with any bias, to enable communities, individuals, leaders to make decisions that can affect their life.
Okay, so when somebody says, what does it take to be the best in the craft? Mr. Rusito, what does it take when you say that one, what does it take to be the best in the craft?
If I heard your question correctly, you are asking what does it take to be the best in the craft, correct?
Yeah.
Well, I honestly think that to become the best as journalists in this world is to remain aligned to the simple ethics and standards of journalism, which is one of the cardinal points that we represent as Zimbabwe online content creators. Basically, just to remain factual, remain truthful, remain ethical and well balanced. For me and for us as an association, those are four cardinal points that we so dearly pursue, and I strongly feel that journalism is and could be easy if those simple four cardinal points could be followed. So you can the rest can follow, but so long as you abide and you stick to those four cardinal points, I strongly believe that it will help, and has already helped journalism as a craft to become the perfect craft that any man or any professionals would.
And on your side, Mr. Dongozi, what does it take for somebody to stand out when fake news sells?
Well, number one, I think I want to refer to three areas. Number one is the relevance. As a journalist, you need to be relevant, and you become relevant by telling or availing information to your audience, to your readers, your viewers, or your listeners, information that ordinarily they would not be able to find anywhere else. And that is where I think the relevance comes in. And this is where we talk about being the voice of the voiceless, or being the eyes of society or the ears of society. We also speak truth to power and help bring good governance and accountability to your community, to your government. You know, what is happening to money that our diamonds or resources are supposed to be bringing? Those are issues that a good journalist should be able to community, and also to be able to be independent. Because if you become a captured journalist, you spoke about, Mr. Mone, you spoke about fake news. But I think also the danger of capture. If you are a captured journalist, and it means you will not be able to speak to But what we will be doing is to actually please those who have captured you. And then, of course, by talking about relevance, we also need to move into the realm or arena where we talk about news we can use. Many are no longer interested in just hearing what this politician has said or done or who is sleeping with whose wife. But they want to understand news that they can use. The basic things like, for example, in Zimbabwe or Southern Africa, I'm telling you, agricultural program, given the fact that many people survive on farming and so on. You realize that how much people follow. We also need to be relevant in terms of tools that we can use.
So you talk of news that can be used, but some people say who pays the piper calls the tune. Mr. Recito, how do you avoid the mercenary type of journalism? I get paid for giving you Victoria.
Well, I think the elephant in the room has always been the brown envelope. And it's a temptation that it's been very difficult for most journalists to resist. And to try and solve that, I think we also need, as newsrooms and media houses, I think we need to do a great deal of a job to make sure that our journalists, they are well paid. They are paid way enough to at least take care and sustain themselves so that they remain professional. I really don't think that anybody would want to be owned by any brown envelope and then they have a certain narrative, and then hence we are promoting a mercenary journalism, as you have said. But I feel that should the economic environment be viable for all journalists, I want to strongly believe that the temptation as well to be attached to the brown envelope is then to a large extent very much reduced. So that's the elephant in the room that we need to deal with, to make sure that as a profession, journalism should economically reward, and we help professionalize the sector so that we look at issues there without fear, favor, or bias.
And Mr. Dongozi, when you look at Zimbabwe 40 years after independence, close to the ideal of what a journalist should be, or we haven't even started?
Well, there are pros and cons in terms of where journalism is moving. Certainly, I would want to approach the young people like Mr. Tito on taking the lead, particularly around going the ICT ways, taking the dimension of ICTs in the media, and also those who have also taken other branches of journalism, such as explainer videos, or even using. But then, because there are now so many faces of journalism. And Mr. Tito has already spoken about issues to do with remuneration. And obviously, given our economy, that is one of our major concerns, in the sense that it affects the quality of journalism, even the resources in media organizations, or even things like investigative journalism or just in-depth journalism. It means media organizations are not going to be able to allocate adequate resources to the digging up or the writing or investigation of quality or good stories. Also take the other dimension of the COVID-19, which is also going already now, or has already actually started impacting journalism or media organization. in very many ways, in the sense that issues to do with media sustainability are now suddenly being spoken about to say, given the impact of COVID-19, the fact that especially those who are in the legacy media, where they sell newspapers, hard copies, copy newspapers, they're looking at how that is impacted. You know, the lockdown, it means people cannot go to the streets and buy a newspaper. So that is a serious implications and repercussions on media sustainability. But with that as it may, I still want to believe that when you address issues to do with rewarding media personnel, you are already almost halfway towards that is professional and ethical, because nobody would then looks at or worries about how to look after their family or look after themselves when they are properly taken care of. And it means they are able to conduct all the required investigations and inquiries. And then, of course, comes in that again will also ensure that the readership, because yes, you should do what happens when editorial people, you know, he that pays the piper, you know, calling the tune. It's also the issue of professionalism. As long, Mr. Mawere, as your media organization is professional, the readers will come on their own. The listeners will come on their own. The viewers will come on their own, because you are doing a fantastic job. So, to go back to whether we are anywhere near to what we should be, yes, some advances and developments have been made, but all it requires and is you can achieve that by delivering a quality, fantastic product.
Okay, so here we are in May 2020, and you look at COVID. Who stands out as a journalist of note in Zimbabwe who has distinguished himself or herself in reporting this challenge and promise of corona? Do you have any name that stands out in the quietness of your time, who you can say is our...
Well, obviously, we have not, but we have certainly begun a program as the Zimbabwe Union of Journalists. It started off as we wanted to look at how journalists in communities would actually concentrate on what ordinary people say, as opposed to what politicians and business people say. But that's when Corona has. So now what we've done is we've moved that program into how journalists are reporting of coronavirus or COVID-19 in their communities. And to be fair, when they were looking, and what we want at this moment is to applaud all the efforts that many journalists have done or taken. You know, we are not medical experts, but many have taken their time to read and understand and do the research. And so certainly it is safe to say collectively we are doing a fantastic job. But obviously as time goes on, we will be able to hazard to give you names of who has been at the forefront of that. But certainly it has been collective. Musicians have been doing a fantastic job. And there is also the media dimension in that sense. But as for now, I think it is safer to say collectively we've done well, and I'm sure we will be outstanding at the end of the race.
And then, Mr. Rusito, does anyone on the online space stand out?
Well, for obvious reasons, I will avoid the temptation to mention any specific news media houses. But while I'm still on that issue, I think if we need to be fair, we have done quite enough or a fair job in the media fraternity to make sure that we cover specifically most online players that I can think of quickly off my head. I think most of the prominent online players have already and are already doing a lot as far as covering the COVID issues, and it's a world where we've seen many players coming up to complement and compete with each other heavily and strongly. But I can surely tell you that the COVID issue has been covered fairly enough as far as the basic issues are concerned with the available information that we've had to ourselves. I think it would be fair to say that we have done quite a very fair job to make sure that we fully cover this issue. But yeah, with the limited resources and information that we've got, I honestly applaud the various media houses that have been involved in this to say they've done a very fair and good job.
All right. So if we look at the Zimbabwe today, do you both agree that it's a divided society?
Yes, I would. Just let me finish off the bit about the COVID and even take that division from the COVID perspective. You get many communities. I think it's because we have been a society that has been exposed to corruption, and you find that a lot of people believe that or suspect that a lot of these donations that have come our way are not going to be properly accounted for. So already, to come back to your question, whereby we say we are a divided community or society, yes, based on what we've been able to read, because many people are reading, they are saying, where are those donations going to? Is there a proof or a register to indicate who has received what? And I think it's a good opportunity, given the fact that the government says it is fighting corruption, to actually take a lead in revealing who has received what donations, how they've been allocated. And this will give a good opportunity to show that the government is being above board when it is distributing these donations. Remember, when people are in danger of illness or death, they become very emotional. And I think it is important for government to reassure Zimbabweans, to reassure communities and different societies that all these donations are not being pocketed by politicians and are actually being used in the rightful and correct way.
And Mr. Any addition or subtraction? Hello? We seem to have lost Mr. Rutsito. So
maybe just to add more, because I left just a bit so that we could finish off. But my view is the issue of donations needs to be handled carefully, because this provides an excellent opportunity to show that the government is actually distributing these donations in a manner that even those who donate will be happy about, and in a manner that would reassure Zimbabweans that any donations coming are very safe being received by government officials.
Okay. So in terms of the first generation of independent Zimbabwe journalists, where are they? I know some are dead. Who do we look up to in the ladder that we call the profession? Is there anyone or any group of them who stand out?
Well, as you said, they are in different levels, you know. Some have died, some were paged when the journalists, most of them, the senior ones, were paged some 15 years ago, especially those who were in the media. Those were the journalists who were the pioneering journalists. But obviously, before that, there had been different platforms and areas where people were being paged. You know, the time of the Mosarur wars, then came another generation. Of course, also going to exile give the opportunity
there is someone with background radio playing.
Okay. Let me switch it off.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Now we can hear you. Okay, you can go ahead.
So, as the economic conditions and the political recent those in the public media being also not a lot went into it.
So, Mr. Dongozi, in short, you are saying there is nobody in the first generation of independence that stands out. No, just say it's enough just to say no, so that we can begin to talk about it. Mr. Rusito, do you have anyone in the first generation of Zimbabwe's independence as a media player who stands?
Before Mr. Rusito comes in, I want to say there are many. Some have gone in and they go quiet and so on. So, and again, their role is different. I would want to look at it in a different way. Whether it's just about having been there, you look at the types of people like Tommy Stoll, you look at Jefferson Maruziva, you look at Edna Machori, and so on, John Kampanga. They are there, but I think what is required is how then do we harness that potential? How do we harness that resource? There are a resource. Whether it's about telling the story of journalism from before independence, or to telling the story of journalism from independence, or to just get their perspectives. I think there's a lot that we can get from that.
I'm just saying, is it
running out? I want to say the
okay, Mr. Rusito. Imagine you have traveled a journey of 40 years, and the first 10 years of the 40 years, you can't recognize anybody who stands out as inspiring the young generation. Is there hope for the profession after 40 years? When the first is dark, second 10 years is dark, the third 10 years is dark, and you are the pop star after 40 years. And people say you're doing a fantastic job, but nobody behind you.
That's a very brutal question. I think we can't take away what those who have gone before us have done. We are able to get into this field today mainly because of because of efforts and what has been done by those who preceded us. I know of many renowned senior journalists. Well, I do not know of calling them role models per se, but in the issue of perfecting the craft, surely there are many other journalists who have done fairly well, where I may not personally have any journalism from the past or the current dispensation, mainly because we are doing journalism differently. We are coming from a more digital perspective, but still it's storytelling. What has been the most differentiator here is not the content but the platforms, or maybe the way we have gathered information, because we are the digital age that Brexit first, Brexit quick, and Brexit fast. So I think
That's where we then kind of differ on the ways of delivery and the platforms where we deliver. But the journalism itself hasn't really changed much, but where we deliver and how we deliver has changed. Needless to say, there are many people that came before us that we still do salute because of that. In that respect of them coming before us, and they've done a lot to professionalize the sector. But in this digital age and era, there's a lot that then now needs to be done. And one of the things that I strongly and passionately speak about as far as sanitizing the journalism, if you ask me, it would be a bit controversial, but I think it goes all the way back to where it starts. How are we training journalists before somebody is called a professional journalist? What models and standards are we using, and what are we teaching them at our various institutions before they are graduated? They come to be journalists. So these are the things that they need to look into, and then if we can reverse or review some of these issues, for me to be very fundamental, because we are now having to deal with a model of journalism and journalists that have studied what our, should I say, those they want to call, I'll use a much more kind of word. Those we've come before us, we have started. There's a lot that has changed. In as much as I have said that journalism is still the same, the ethics and the standards are almost the same, but there's a lot that has changed. In as far as basic issues like how they used to gather information, how we used to gather information, and how we used to collect and then distribute the same information, it has really changed. So that then makes it a little bit difficult for me to say, well, these people really stand out, specifically from those that are not really coming from our generation, but from a point of principle, we definitely do respect and appreciate what they've done, because they've done a lot. They've opened up the way for us, and we are still going and abiding by the same standards and ethics of journalism that these guys have done for us. They've made the job very easier for us, but we've just professionalized the media.
I didn't know that you are politicians, the two of you. Now, we can't even answer a simple. If it's dark, you don't even have to say anything more and say, I stand on my own ground. I don't stand on anyone's shoulder. And that's how far we have come. So remember, a general, before he becomes a general, is in the infantry. He's holding a bazooka. He's holding a submachine gun. So when a question is asked, do you see any shining stars in the first generation? Just say, no, I don't see. And that's all we need to know, so that we know what time it is. Many of us don't have anyone to look up to, yet we are expected to do the best job we can when there are no standards to measure ourselves against.
I still see that from a different perspective.
Okay.
That what has happened was that journalism is, since 1980, been subjected, particularly if you look at the fact that we had public or state-controlled media, where journalism was not allowed to thrive, where journalists were not encouraged to be critical and to be independent, open-minded, which is why people like William Saru were fired.
No, you are now a history teller. I'm asking you today, if you can't identify the shining stars, just say, no, they are not there today. They may have been there in the first generation, but I wasn't there. Today, I don't see. And I am the Secretary General of the Zimbabwe Union of these craftsmen people. So if I don't see anyone, then it means we have to start now building that standard of professionalism.
You are right. You are certainly right there, Mr. Mawere, in the sense that it is never too late to start improving and growing your industry. And any opportunity or any time that the decision is taken is very welcome. And even if we are to decide at this moment that there are certain aspects of journalism that we want to work on, there are certain aspects of journalism that we want to improve on, I think that would still be a fantastic opportunity. Whether we're looking at the training aspect, whether we're looking at writing down the history of the country or the history of journalism, that is still an opportunity. Or even to look each other in the eye and to say, as colleagues, as professionals, what is wrong with our industry and how do we improve it? Anytime, I believe, it's always an opportune moment to look at improving the industry or the sector.
All right. So, Mr. Rusito, are you available there? So, if we look at the challenge that we face in a digital age, do you see different challenges that are before us that were not the challenges of the first 40 years of independence? Mr. Foster.
Yes. Well, there are different ways of looking at it, in the sense that in the digital era is come with its opportunities, advantages and disadvantages. The one around the disadvantages is obviously the issue of fake news. That is certainly a challenge. But however, there are opportunities in the sense that news which was in the past the prerogative of journalists is in the public domain. When the people are now able to take their own pictures, take or videos, even towards the development of news, are now able to even generate news on their own. A lot of people now who are not journalists now make money by taking pictures which journalists ordinarily would not have been able to take or would not be well positioned or in that area of position to take. So yes, the digital era is its own pluses and minus, but I think it's an opportunity that we need to harness in terms of ensuring as a way of sourcing news, generally places for all the places in the same time. Therefore, with the digital era comes an opportunity for journalists, the media, to harness what people out in the communities come across or they see, which is why when you look at all serious media organizations, they actually have platforms for social media where citizens who have taken pictures, citizens who have taken videos are able to contribute very stunning and beautiful pictures or videos. You will remember the video of the woman who was giving birth in a flat in Mozambique. That was taken by a private individual and many others. And so really, yes, the digital era provides opportunities that we could harness for the better development and advancement of the news industry.
Okay. So if we are looking at today and say, what are the cutting edge issues that you think ought to be given attention to? And you were asked to name 5 areas that need serious attention by the media, which ones would they be?
Well, there are many. I would start with news, weekend news, and I explained that as a society we've moved away, we're moving away from that era whereby we are just want to know what the politicians are doing, and most of the time politicians are not doing anything important or clever, but just messing up economies and things. So this has created an opportunity for people to have, and this news that they can use, it comes in very many ways. It could be how to take care of a wound, when you are at home. How to avoid malaria when you are staying in a malaria-prone area. How to treat a snake bite, for example. So I'm giving those as news that we can use, including how media organizations can actually maximize the use of agricultural news, which is what ordinary Africans in Southern Africa or Sub-Saharan Africa or all of Africa are interested in. Then I would then go to climate change. The issue of climate change is upon us. We cannot ignore it, and they will affect a lot of things. Our economies, which are dependent on agriculture, obviously, that agriculture is climate sensitive, and so therefore, a lot of issues. Once you take the issue of climate change, you have taken half the story. You are doing half the story. Then there's also the issue of sustainable development goals. These are the SDGs. You are again, once you look at when you have covered the issue with the SDGs, you are virtually covering all the important aspects of human survival. Then, of course, after the SDGs, you also look at the issue of the environment, which again would be covered under climate change and the SDGs. But finally, I think the fifth one would be governance, good governance. Governance from all aspects, public aspects, like local authorities. When it looks at issues to do with resource allocation and issues to do with how they are spending the money that the residents are paying, those are some of the issues that local authorities not need to look at. Even government, with the good governance, how are they utilizing in the form of taxes and not this nonsense of having the Auditor General that millions and millions are being stolen and nobody does anything about it. I think we need to move to a level whereby accountability and good governance come and the media runs with. And obviously all of those would then fall under what men would call investigative journalism.
When you look at members of ZUJ, so far, how many members do you have?
Our number fluctuates between 1,200 and 1,700.
So that's a big community.
Absolutely.
Okay. And how are you funded?
Well, number one, we are funded by very many different sectors. We'll start with you. If you have any money still, we are willing to receive it and issue you with a receipt. But beyond that, we are funded by our members who pay a subscription, which contributes towards the running of the secretariat. Then obviously beyond that, we also have embarked on what we call local resource mobilization, in which local companies fund the different activities that we do, particularly in our members to there are different areas of specialization. Could be on reporting on child marriage, could be on reporting on resource abstraction, mining, could be reporting on health, it could be reporting on sport, could be reporting on other aspects. We also are funded by different UN agencies. You know, they are specialized in their different areas of operation. So some of them who are looking into, say, for example, UNICEF, who look into the issue of welfare, of development of women and children, will have programs especially designed for the media in the fund training of those. We also have the UNFPA, which looks at the health of women, particularly maternal health. Also, they have programs that they support and from which we benefit. Then we also have international organizations that support different aspects of the work we do. So it will come in from the different areas and so on. And so, yes, we do get a lot of funding and support from different organizations. But we are happy and proud that we have a significant amount of our funding coming from the members and also from local organizations.
So it's mostly subscription from members?
Not mostly, but partly subscription, then partly, you know, we also do hold the annual awards for different areas of excellence by our members. So this is like your big organization, your Narazo, and so they bring in a significant amount of funding. That funding was towards the awards, was towards best journalists, and also is retained by the organization, by the union for organizing the event.
Okay. So as we complete this first show, what are your parting words?
Well, my parting words really are to express excitement at the innovation that you've taken around creating a conversation around issues that affect Zimbabwe. Because I do believe that what we lack is a robust conversation among Zimbabweans to see how we can tackle different issues that affect us. They don't have to be pleasant, but they have to be issues that affect Zimbabwe. So I want to wish you well in this noble idea and agenda, get Zimbabweans not just talking about themselves, but talking to each other as well.
No, thank you very much. If you are listening out there, the media, as Ngozi said, are human beings like you and me. They are not immune from the divisions that are prevalent around us. We know where the problem is. You can only do so much with 2 eyes, 2 ears. We have to be the storytellers. We have to have channels to organize our own experiences, channel them out so that the world out there can know what is happening. No media will have the final say because you are the subjects for any story. So if you are the subject, then it's important that you also organize yourselves so that you tell the story as you would want it to be told, based on verifiable facts, not based on imagining facts. So we will continue on this conversation around constitutionalism, that there cannot be any document that limits behavior without the media reminding people of what the limitations are. When we know the limitations, we then can also conform to that because we know the media will be the eyes that we don't have. They will be monitoring what we do. So if we are public officers, we are public property. And if you are public property, you must be subjected to public scrutiny. We are the vigilantes. We are the owners of any democracy. If it's a republic, we are the Republicans. Because each one of us, we have a say. And if I'm aggrieved, the Constitution must protect me, not the majority. It's not majoritarian rule, it's a Republican rule, which means each and every one of us has a vote. I cannot multiply votes and say because I must have 3 votes or 5 votes. I only have one. I got 2 legs, 24 hours in a day. That's what it should be. Mr. Aristito, any final words? We admit.
Sincere apologies about that, but yeah, I know it's always an interesting show. So probably maybe in my final words and hopefully parting shots as well is we do perfect the craft of journalism each and every single day. No one is perfect in the pursuit of telling the story. But what we have done is we have done the best that we can because of us as various practitioners who respect the craft, are guided by certain standards that we call for specifically for us who are in the online media house. We call them the digital code of ethics that guides us as various media practitioners, specifically as Zimbabwe online content creators. So we need to tell the story. We have tried by all means and with uh, all the resources that we have, not to become the story, and also not to be uh, to become persuaded by the brown envelopes. This has been and is a challenge that is facing most of media practitioners in and around Zimbabwe. It's a genuine challenge that needs to be addressed. Otherwise, if we do not address that as a serious issue, we are also killing the craft of journalism because people then tend to be part of the story or tend to tell a certain narrative only because of the way they either feel or the way they are persuaded to feel. And unfortunately, in some circumstances, we find some of our journalists being persuaded to tell a certain story in a certain direction because some people or the elephant in the building has managed to persuade them to go via a certain narrative. So if that issue is solved and is tackled seriously, urgently, as a higher priority, I strongly feel that would be one of the major success stories that we need to tell as Zimbabweans. Averagely, we are living in a very tough economic environment, and journalists are not spared. That said, it does not warrant, neither is that uh, neither is that a reason why we should then allow journalists to be tempted or to be exposed to corruption or brown envelope, so to say. But there is a strong need for us to make sure that we sanitize the sector, and more importantly, we tell the story as it is, fairly, credibly, balanced, and truthfully. This is what we should do as a fourth estate to make sure that we keep our viewers and our various uh, audience at large informed truthfully and accurately.
No, thank you very much. Until we meet again, there you have it, Mr. Foster Dongozi and Mr. Toneo Rutsito. Until we meet again, in the name of raising the bar, raising the flag, so that journalism can be an interesting profession. Those who are in it can be proud of what they are doing, stand on their ground, tell the story as it is, educate people, inform people, entertain them. Whatever it is, people need news. They need somebody to process the millions of versions that are in the World Wide Web. And when you process them, find a structure, reduce it to what people can digest and understand, the market will always be there to tell the story of other people's stories in a manner that is understood by just the retail public, the public. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the time, and we do appreciate it. And also to all our viewers who have been watching and are also watching us. Apology, this wasn't the best of our broadcasts as we usually do, but we had to make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you.